This is IBM Museum, and I've got yet another unboxing. So I'm going to get off the internal webcam, get turned around, and I know what these items are. These are actually eBay items that I ordered from all the same place. And as I get through and open them up, open up the box, I'll explain a little bit more. I don't really necessarily have the system here, although I do have some of the pieces that I've got back here that kind of go with this sort of stuff. And I'll have to do some investigation even to find out how. Yeah, another one of these. So it's great that I have two of them. I'll have to just separate these for. And it's nice that they have labels. I'll go through and show that labeling as it comes up. I think this probably is an auction listing. It's got addresses on it. And not really needed all that much otherwise for describing the items. So we see that I've got another one of these and still sealed. This one I even had from the, it's got attachment there of who it came from on eBay. Open Up Happiness. Nice little card that someone's made. Oh yeah, okay. And I think I showed the items that her little card before. Now this box here, I'll set this aside since this is the same sort of thing, and we'll get to one of those in a moment. And I may go through and crack one of those open actually. Get that off to the side. And this is marked with who all these items are from. Don't want to drop anything down. Dip down without my mic muting or anything else from the angle. Okay, so these are from texElec. texElec.com, different items. And I've shown the PS2 diskette drive adapter. And it's got that 40-pin edge connector as a way to adapt it to a GoTech or a conventional 1.44 megabyte diskette drive. But these are some of the items, and some of this are related in their use. Some are independent of that. And you see for this, the PC. And I can probably do reviews of these independently of what they do and everything. But you can see the ISA compact flash adapter, clearly on an 8-bit bus. Can you print on that side too? Oh, it's got all kinds of silk screen. Even a web address you can go to for more information. Yeah, it's easy enough for people to type in. I don't know if I necessarily have to include that in the video description. So that's kind of, I mean, that was maybe like a side purchase. And the one thing I did is once I kind of started getting the items, there's so many goodies there I just end up getting more and more. And I've got this one anti-static bag. Yeah, that's one of the big things that let's see what these little ones are. Get them down to the anti-static bags. Okay, so that's relating to a system that'll also be in the future. So we'll probably get to that separately. I'll explain some of these, and these certainly, some of these will come out sooner than others, but all will be eventually. Okay. And that actually relates to the same system, although that is of the same nature. In fact, what I can do, I'll go through and open this one first because it has the same, well, it has half the functionality as this other adapter. Okay, so this assembly, probably really delicate in ways, this goes through and adapts the connection types, kind of non-standard connection types that the PC Junior has compared to, see, it talks about the PC, texElec.com, PC Junior CGA/serial board. And so what this did is it plugged into the back of the PC Junior, where you had just these double row pin headers, and it goes through and adapts it to a conventional, more conventional pinout. And there's your, for making jumpers, for making a little bit of adjustments. So your CGA plug, as it's marked on the left there, serial on the right, and just gives us a little bit better pinout. Now I talked about this actually goes through the other way, a reverse, where it takes the conventional CGA. So in other words, you have this with an IBM PC or XT that has a CGA board, and connecting up to the system, and then going through and adapting to the monitor type of the PC Junior, the connection that was on the cable for the monitor of the PC Junior. And I've got one of the PC Junior monitors. So I actually had this adapter on it. It's funny that the CGA monitors were more available on the PC side with the conventional connection. But I had this adapter, and I don't know how this adapter was made, if it's not necessarily a homemade adapter, but a third party or some other way of just going through and doing that pinout. And so these are actually the way I understand it. In fact, I want to look at them. Let's go through and let's unbox one of these. Okay. You know, and can you believe that for close to the last just under 40 years, I mean, PC Junior, I think, came out in 84, maybe 83. Just shy of 40 years for all that shrink wrapped. Beautiful boxing, pristine shape. It's funny, the boxes, you see the cardboard ribs actually start to just come out over time with the packaging. Want to see how this is packaged. And then so they show PC Junior adapter cable for the IBM color display installation instructions, and very thin manual. I don't expect the installation instructions being, show a diagram of it. And that's the item that's included in the box. That bubble wrap hasn't been, it's been rolled up for that length of time too. You can even see where it's pleated. Easily tell you, okay, you need 2 sections of that bubble wrap for wrapping items up. So that is the plugs into the PC Junior CGA port and goes to a conventional pinout, just effectively the same as what this module does for the CGA side, not the serial port side. So it is effectively on this side for whichever way, and it is effectively keyed. There's a wider section that only goes in a certain way. I even have a PC Junior motherboard, and that would be even the best way to go through and show how these connect up, besides a system that's in a PC Junior that's in a sealed case. So that's what that is, and that's the inverse, effectively, of this adapter, going through and adapting. And as it is with you can see how it effectively would be keyed. It only allows insertion in one way. And there you have a loop, and you introduce a paradox into the universe of where the CGA is by this adapter. So there's that. And I mean, this adapter is very particular to the PC Junior since it has that serial side, although this adapter not so much. And I'll have that system out very soon, because that is the PC convertible. And okay, so what is this? Okay, so probably what I can do, and we'll keep the anti-static bags. Some of these has chips on it. We're ready to pull that one out of the bag. Okay, so by the same token, and the PC Junior was known for, it had an infrared keyboard, and then it had a cabled keyboard, but they were referred to as chiclet keyboards because the keys looked like the chiclet gum, the size of the pad, and really the keyboard was really heavily derided for not being the grandest way to type on the system. And so you have this adapter, and it's doubling up things once again. Okay, and so that's the PC Junior Joy / keyboard adapter. And you have the jumper there for the PS2 or PC Junior. And what that means, might probably get it to focus. up a little bit better. So that's the corded PC Junior keyboard that would go into, yeah, the light does better for that, for going through and showing it that way. But an RJ11 for the original corded keyboard of the PC Junior, or you could go through and you can even plug in a PS2 keyboard. Just have your jumper set. You know, the default looks like to be the corded PC Junior keyboard by that 1 to 2 jumper selection. I don't know why my camcorder is just, it's probably seeing past. And then the joystick side. So here's your joystick connectors on the PC Junior on the back. Just the same as there's the connection for the keyboard, the corded keyboard, if it, as it were. And so it goes through and it's just another assembly off the back to go through and to have these more conventional ports going to that DB15 style connector, much more common. So there is that as well. I wanted to see what this one, I mean, I can probably seg into, okay, so 40-pin cable. Oh, okay, so this is what really would go, this could have been paired with this 8-bit adapter of the compact flash adapter, because it's got the 40-pin cable and goes to a back bracket with a compact flash connection, even a red LED there. And there's your power side, which you have from that connection to provide power to this assembly and to the compact flash. So these components kind of go together. You can have them paired up. And then this is more of a continuation. I think this is the more expensive item of the group. Although very, very good otherwise too. And so this is effectively, and even has, you know, Raspberry Pi. One of the, you know, I think that's a Pi, is that like a Pi Zero? Should know better. Somebody can leave in comments. So this goes through effectively from the base card here and has that connection as a DB9. And we've remembered that we've seen it on the other devices. There's your little micro SD card for the Raspberry Pi. And then it has an HDMI, which is the important thing, and the USB, ultimately for power. That's why you have this USB cable included to go through and power up this board. And then for the bus interface, general purpose IO bus, they're connected to this board with the chips, And I want to show front and back of this. Okay, so RGB to HDMI, 6-bit TTL with buffer. Even has the texElec. Okay, so this board is primarily for use with vintage PC systems which output monochrome, CGA, or EGA signals. It will work with many other systems which provide a digital output signal. Please see the GitHub docs. And they give for the RGB to HDMI is updated often. Power is provided by connecting a USB power source to the Raspberry Pi. And then you have some jumpers that they talk about and how they interact with the system. And I want to give the front of this pretty good focus since I'm filling up the whole view. Okay, based on 12-bit issue 4 release, includes 6-bit TTL buffer, and then by Hoglet and Ian B. Is it Ian or Ian? And then 4-layer PCB layout, texElec.com in 2021. So they give the switch settings. And so ultimately with the miniature to full-sized HDMI, my camcorder actually uses the HDMI signal of my ClearClick video capture box. But there'd be the thought of me being able to go through and to, you want to be very careful with your Pi connections. You plug in USB power to your Pi. There's your HDMI out and your CGA or EGA or MDA in to go through an upscale to an HDMI monitor. And this would be for, I primarily got it, I wanted it for the PC convertible. And as I say, I'll pull that a little bit more of that out. And, you know, as a way to go through, I do have the external color monitor, which is CGA from the PC convertible. And this adapter is supposed to work for that as well. The CGA monitor for the PC convertible is the same pin out effectively, even though it's a whole different monitor as the PC Junior. So with this, I would be able to take that CGA output. And of course, it has composite video out as well, but I want to get as much of the video upscaling as I can to get the quality. And I don't even have an EGA monitors. I've got EGA adapters. So I wanted to have this adapter as well to go through and to be able to capture EGA output. That might be a critical thing that I would encounter. And that's kind of on the channel development side. I can mark on the playlist for all that. So that's some of the items that came in and how I'm going to be going through and working with them. There's clearly some side issues of like the 8-bit to the compact flash that is a side. I just went in there, and since it was a kind of a neat idea, and I thought, well, I need one of those. So I'm going to eventually get to that point. I picked one up, and so we've got that aspect effectively covered as well, even though it's a side thing to the rest of the items I was wanting to work with. The PC Junior is going to be a future topic, going over a lot of that, and also the PC convertible, which this adapter will help in addition to the EGA capture of systems that will have that EGA board in there. So really helps out the channel to have received that package, and you'll see those items in the future as I go through and need to do video capture of that, from those systems I mentioned. So if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and click on the like button. As always, subscribe to my channel if you've not done so already. Recommend it to your friends that they can subscribe to, but that's all I have for now. This is IBM Museum. Thank you.